I think Iran has the cheapest gas price in the world. So 1 liter is only 1 cent in US dollars. Can you imagine that?
I tank up for 40 liters and the price is just 60,000 tomans. It's about half of a dollar.
Half of a dollar.
Yeah.
40 liters, 50 cents. But cheap gas doesn't mean an easy life. Behind this price is a country that has been under sanctions for 45 years, Iran. When I came back in 2026, the first thing I noticed was the price. My hotel room cost only $10 US, including a breakfast buffet. A tea was $50, and a half-day bus ride from Tehran to Isfahan cost only $3. Many YouTubers say Uzbekistan is the cheapest country to travel to, but honestly, I feel Iran is a lot cheaper. But the cheapness has a reason. It's not because life here is easy. Iran has lived under sanctions since 1979, for more than 45 years. Cut off from much of the global financial system, the country faces a permanent shortage of US dollars. Its currency has steadily lost value. As of 2026, it takes around 1.6 million Iranian rials to buy $1, making it the weakest currency in the world. What looks like a bargain to visitors is, in reality, a long-term pressure on ordinary people. In this episode, I want to show what sanctions truly mean for everyday Iranians.
等会儿，还没开始。开始 now.
Hello everyone, it's Mohamed again, and we meet each other many years ago, and today I want to show you how the life is like in Iran.
This is Mohamed, my old friend. We met 3 years ago when he was still a medical student. Now he's a doctor at a hospital. He's a warm-hearted and generous person. Back then, when I wanted to film in the Grand Bazaar in Isfahan, he helped me translate and supported me a lot. We've stayed in touch ever since. It was truly wonderful to see him again this time.
I think my friend is a bit camera shy, and he said nice to see you again because he was in my video about 2 or 3 years ago. So firstly, let me show you one impact of the sanctions. All the cars in Iran are pretty old. How old is your car?
It's about 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
Wow, it's still working though.
Yeah, fortunately it still works. The Peugeot factory sell the blueprints to Iranian companies, and because of the sanction, the Peugeot factory evacuate Iran and go back to France. By the way, the Iranian company made this car with name of Peugeot, but all the parts are Iranian.
Ah, I see.
None of them came from France.
Salam. Salam. Hello. 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 The kids are funny. So when they say me, they would say hello, and then they would say "Qing Zheng Zhong," but
Yeah, that's the only thing Iranians know about China.
yes, but I wouldn't take that as racism because probably that's the only information they know about China, especially when they're very young, they're small kids. So last time when I was in Iran, it's 3 years ago, and this time I feel two things that are different. So first of all, women don't really have to wear scarf. So last time it was still mandatory, and at this time everyone is telling me, nah, it's fine, you can walk without wearing a scarf unless you want to visit the holy shrine. And the second thing is, I feel like as a foreign tourist, things are even getting cheaper in Iran.
Yes, all the things getting cheaper because the Iran currency lose the wars. Because of this, decrease the wars and.
Okay, your 70-year-old car.
For the Iranians, because of the worth of the currency, everything is too expensive. But when you're exchanging the dollar, they give you too many tomans because of the price of dollar, and it increase every day.
How is, for example, a cup
say 2 or 3 times. It's
2 or 3
times expensive, yeah. Last year we buy a single shot of coffee for about 15 tomans. Nowadays we should buy it about 30 or 54 tomans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's doubled.
And the houses here are quite nice. So look at those apartment buildings.
Yes.
They're very nicely done, I would say.
Most of the people nowadays cannot buy a house.
So they rent a house.
Yeah, they should rent, and rent price will increase every day and every year because of this. With your money, you can rent a place nowadays in the downtown. Next year, you should not rent that house again in the downtown. You should go to another neighborhood for living.
How much does it cost to rent an apartment in Isfahan?
It depends. Isfahan is more expensive, but it depends on the neighborhood. In US dollar, about it started from $2,000 or $3,000 1 year.
It's like $200-300 per month. What is the average salary?
Average salary, it's about 150. Yes, 150 US dollars per month.
Wow. So if you have an average job, you cannot even afford.
Yes, you cannot even buy a house, or it's very hard to rent a house.
Now we need to tank up before going to the city. How much do you have to pay for the gas here? Like 1 liter?
1 cent.
1 cent or 10 cent?
No, 1 cent.
1 cent US
1 cent
dollar.
per liter with card. And all of the persons have the car have a special share of the gasoline. It's about 60 liters per month.
60.
Yes.
So after those 60 liter, you
Has
pay.
been done. Yes, you
You
should
pay.
pay 3 cents for
Per-
each liter.
Wow. I think Iran has the cheapest gas price in the world. So 1 liter is only 1 cent in US dollars. Can you imagine that? Within 60 liter, it's only 1 cent per liter. And after that, it's 3 cents per liter.
Okay, we are done. I tank up for 40 liters, and the price is just 60,000 ton. It's about half of a dollar.
Half of a dollar.
Yeah.
So let's check the price. For 40 liter, it's only half a dollar.
Fuel is incredibly cheap inside Iran, often cheaper than water. But under sanctions, Iran cannot fully access global markets to sell its oil. And when that lifeline is restricted, the flow of dollars dries up and imports gets expensive.
You sell your car, how much can you sell it for?
Between 1,500 to 2,000.
So even this old car, a 17 years old,
17 years old, yes.
old car,
Yeah.
still keep its value, still worth more than 1,500 to 2,000 US dollars. So cars are really a scarcity. So that is the car, most popular car in Iran. And this is a brand that you probably can only find in Iran. It's an Iranian car.
All of these products are came from the Saipa company. Saipa also sending or selling too many products to Venezuela.
So they export this car to Venezuela.
Yes, this car and another products of the Saipa company, and send them to Venezuela or sometimes some poor countries in Africa.
How much does it take, for example, in US dollar to buy a car like this?
In US dollar, maybe 5,000.
So this is a second-hand car from
Yes,
Korea.
second-hand car from Korea, and they are belonging to 2010, 12, or 15. The cost is about maybe between $10,000 or $15,000. Most of the people cannot buy the brand new car because of the sanction. They cannot bring them to Iran. All the classic or semi-classic models that you see came to Iran many years ago.
Before, there was a time when the sanction wasn't so hard,
Yes,
so they can still import it.
yes.
And now it's completely impossible to import cars, or is there
It's
smuggling?
not completely impossible, but just Chinese cars.
Are they expensive?
Yes, a bit.
So compared with Iranian cars, it's still more expensive.
Chinese car also be the brand new and the new cars, but most of them are cheaper than these cars because
Yeah.
these are old, but they are Koreans.
Yeah.
And so most of the people try to invest some money and buy some Chinese car.
Are there, for example, is there electronic car in Iran?
Yes, we have hybrid car.
Is there Tesla?
Not Tesla. Another Chinese hybrid.
That is one obvious effect of sanctions. So many, for example, many important machineries cannot be exported to Iran. For example, the car. That's why there are so many old, really, really old cars in Iran. I found it very strange because I can hardly see a car that is blue or red, you know, the colorful cars. So most of the cars here are either gray, black, and white, and mostly it's actually white car.
Most of the people prefer to buy the white car because they don't want to keep it for the long time, and whenever they want to resell it, it's easier to sell the white car, except the colored cars. And it's very stupid to buy the colored car in Iran.
We just got our coffee, and this coffee cost 150. So 3 of those 50 banknote, which equals about $1.
Most of the workers in Iran, especially infrastructure workers, should work for 600 or 700 per day, and it's about just 4 cups of coffee in Iran. Most of them should work in 2 jobs or 3 jobs.
How about the young people? Like, what's the average salary of the young people here?
The average salary of the young people is about $150 per month. Most of the taxi drivers, especially Snap drivers, are well educated, and there was an advertising from a Snap company that told the people, if you want to go to university, between the road you can earn some money. Master,
driver.
PhD.
Really?
You can find the people in any kind of degrees, master, PhD, and but most of them are bachelors because of the fees of the tuition and the fee to support the tuition.
It means that the job market, it's very hard to get a job.
Yes.
So people try to make a living from all sorts of things.
Yes, and at least for covering the fees of the cars and the driving, most of the people should work in Snap. My friend Armin just graduated from high school and should work here to earn some money, and also he's working on a perfume field,
So
making coffee here as a barista,
Yeah.
and he should also work as a person who's selling perfumes.
so he is taking 2 jobs.
You have 2 jobs.
Parents won't support their kid when it comes to university.
The parents work hard to support their kids,
So they work really
but
hard.
it's not enough.
Kids still have to do some jobs, side jobs, to
Yes.
support himself.
They want to pass this way individually
Okay.
and try not to be not to make their families on more pressure. Because of this, most of the kids are young people should work after high school immediately.
What is the average salary of a teacher, for example?
The average salary of the teachers is about $100 per month.
100, and a doctor,
Doctor is about 200.
if you are engineer.
It depends. Most of them 150 to 200.
What is the most profitable job?
Dealing dollar, dealing cars, dealing house.
That's why so many people want to do money exchange.
Yes. And because of this situation, dealing haven't any special fees and prices, by the way, and most of the people.
So they go to exchange to the black market.
Yes.
So and those people earn from the difference of the currency. Let's say you earn a little bit more than before, but the things like the food, everything gets a lot more expensive.
Get more expensive. The
Iran-
government increased the salaries 20% every year, but it's not enough.
20%
20% every year.
every year.
Yes, because of inflation and dollar price.
But the inflation is more than 20%.
Yes, it's maybe about 60 or 50%.
When you earn real, do you regularly change it into, for example, dollar or other currencies?
Not other currencies. Most of the Iranians try to invest on dollar or gold. Gold market. Gold market and dollar.
So to do this to against inflation. Is it compulsory? Does every Iranian guy has to do a military service?
Military service in Iran is mandatory for the men's.
Not for women?
Not for women. Until you doesn't finish your military service, you cannot allow to get the passport and the certificate for working.
If you don't do a military service, you cannot work.
تا زمانی که چیز نرفتی پایان خدمت رو نگرفتی نمیتونی کار کنی. You can work very highly, but if the government find him working and try to punish the main worker.
So what kind of punishment it is?
It's just financial.
They need to pay money. How much is
Not
it?
he, the boss.
The boss.
Should pay
so
for
one
the
who
money.
hired him has
Yes,
to pay.
the person who hired him.
If he doesn't do the military service, he cannot get a passport.
Yes.
Do you want to do this military service?
دوست داری بری خدمت؟ No, absolutely no.
No one wants?
The military service here is so different because they also prefer to work in these 2 years and earn some money. The government give you salary, but it's too low.
How much do you get?
It's about for normal soldiers it's about $50 per month.
$50.
$50.
I also want to explain a little bit about the sanctions. So when it comes to the sanctions, it mainly comes in those aspects. First of all, there is a financial sanctions, which means the Iranian bank are completely cut off from the international payment system. For example, it's impossible for me to use a Visa or MasterCard here. I always have to carry a lot of cash with me. And I try to book some hotels online. Some of them only accept crypto coins. And this also means that it's very hard for the local people to send or receive international payments. I heard it from the businessman in Yiwu or Guangzhou, the Chinese businessman who have Iranian clients. They said that it can take them very long before they can receive the payment because it takes time to get through. Secondly, there is a trade sanction, which means Iran is restricted to trade, to sell their oil and gas. And they are also restricted to import, for example, aviation parts, plane parts, or machinery, or cars. That's why there are so many old cars in Iran. And then comes the secondary sanction. So any foreign companies who are doing business with Iran are risking to get punishment, and that's why many European companies and many Asian companies are very afraid of doing business with Iran. And all in all of that kind of put Iran in a very, very isolated position. And this has really a huge impact on the everyday life of the ordinary people. So I feel like sanctions slowly trapped Iran, and this country kind of got stuck in time, and every year life gets a little bit harder. I feel like sanction doesn't really kill country, but it slowly make the life a bit harder than the last year.
Sanctions disrupt normal import channels, and at the same time, the government limits so-called luxury goods to preserve foreign currency. As a result, electronics have become scarce and expensive. Even basic items like charging cables can cost far more than they do in other countries.
Is it expensive to buy a mobile phone in Iran?
And they charge you more money, okay?
What's the price difference? For example, if you buy an iPhone, so compared with what you pay, for example, in Dubai?
تفاوتش چقدره که اینجا بخری دبی؟
قیمت $2 بگو یکی در میاد تقریبا. حالا بگو نهایتش 10 تومن اختلاف قیمتی باشه تو ایران، چون بخاطر اون شیپینگیشو میکنن.
More money the government charge you is for transportation and shipping and registration. It's about 30% of the price of your phone.
So, but as a foreigner, can I still use my phone in Iran if I live here, I don't know, for 2 years?
2 ماه میتونه استفاده داشته باشه از 2 months. برای هر سیم کارت 1 ماه.
For each SIM card, 1
1
month.
month.
1 month, and after that, you have to register your phone.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have to pay to the Iranian government.
Yeah, and customs office.
Does it make sense, for example, because Iran and Turkey is so close, can I just go to Turkey and buy 10 phone and bring back to Iran?
زیاد صرف نداره، گارانتیشون نداره اونجوری و اینکه
It doesn't have enough benefits for you to do this. And even you bring 10 or more than 10 phones, you just can register one of them for yourself. Okay, it has a special phone mafia, and they force you to buy the phone from them inside the country.
How about the cameras and computers? Are they very expensive too?
کامپیوتر و کامرایی نداره دیگه، دوربین و اینا هم همین جوریه. بگو شرایط اقتصادیمون فعلا خیلی افتضاحه.
Yes, these are the same, and the financial situation in Iran right now is disaster, and it's very hard to find the computer or camera goods and with a good price. And especially for the goods that came from out of the country, they haven't any kind of guarantee or something else.
So there is no guarantee, for example, for camera, even if you buy it from the Iranian dealer.
Yes, it's very hard to repair it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most cheapest car.
350
phone case. 350. $2.50.
And this is the cheapest phone case in Iran. It costs $2.5, which is around 20 yuan. And in China, this would cost maybe 3 块钱, like 50 cents. Okay, next time when I come from China, I bring you this. a suitcase of mobile phone cases.
It's very interesting. Because of the sanction, there is no kind of Apple company in Iran, but there are too many Apple stores in Iran.
Apple Store.
Apple Store, yes. They are not really related to real Apple companies.
They sell like accessories, like
absolutely, yeah.
Charging cable,
AirPods, watch, and smartwatch, and anything else.
And if anything goes wrong, there is no guarantee for that.
Absolutely, there is no guarantee.
No guarantee.
So this is a phone case. I checked it. It's made in Shenzhen from China, and it's $8. I think in China it's fairly cheap. And honestly, I think $2 for a phone case isn't so much. But if you compare with the income of the average Iranian person, which is about $200, so $2 for a phone case is actually quite a lot of money. So you see, electronics is a big issue in Iran, and for example, if I break my camera in Iran, it's almost impossible to fix it because there are just very few shops that sell those cameras and very few people who can fix it.
Sanctions are meant to pressure governments, but in reality, the weight is carried by ordinary people. While filming, I felt a quiet heaviness. Life hasn't stopped. People still laugh, work, and move forward. But the pressure is constant. Opportunities feel more distant. Prices keep rising. The burden is slow, structural, and enduring. And that is what stayed with me. No matter what, life goes on. And so do thee.
We're going to end the video with the Iranian Pepsi. So they are both Coca-Cola and also Pepsi here, but they are not real. It's made in Iran and it's a high quality fake. So although the Coca-Cola is fake, the life in Iran is real. We hope you enjoy this video, and thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Bye bye.